Welcome back. It's actually quite comical how this draw has panned out. So before we get back into the redraw, this is what it looked like prior to the issues that were faced. So we'll just pull it back up. Benfica were taking on Real Madrid, Villarreal were taking on Manchester City, Atletico were taking on Bayern Munich, Salzburg, Liverpool, Inter Milan, Ajax, Sporting were taking on Juventus, PSG were taking on United, so Messi, Ronaldo, and Chelsea were taking on Lille. So, what happened? Anthony, go to bed. My name's Bruno. So Anthony's normally here, but let's have a chat. Chris, what kind of scam are they trying to pull? Did Inter have a draw? Yes, so basically Inter were given Ajax. Now, what happened was when Villarreal was drawn, the communication to the UEFA board, this is what they've said, was incorrect. Anthony definitely went to bed. He was exhausted. Sorry, mate. I am just all over the place. It is now 5 to 1 in the morning, so I'm a bit everywhere. So, yeah, when Villarreal were drawn, what happened was it was given the communication was that all teams were available to be chosen except for Real Madrid had already been drawn. So all teams were available to be chosen. They drew Manchester United, which was incorrect because they were in the same group leading up into the actual draw in the group stage. But then when it came to Atletico Madrid being drawn, Manchester United was actually left out, and that's where the issue rose. Not because Manchester United was incorrectly drawn, because they just redrew that, but because United's ball was not actually put into the draw when it came to Atletico Madrid. What actually happened was that it tainted the rest of the draw because ultimately there was an extra ball. Any other team could have potentially been picked. So anything was possible. Now, guys, before we get into the redraw, if you could just hit like and subscribe on the Football Worldwide YouTube page, it would mean the world to us. But yes, so because the issue arose because, I've just dropped one of my things. Yeah, so the issue arose not because Manchester United was pulled out against Villarreal. The issue arose because their ball was not actually input into the Champions League draw for Atletico, which ultimately Bayern could have not been drawn against Atletico. Liverpool could not have been drawn against, as we pull it back up. So everything from Atletico, Salzburg, Inter, Sporting, PSG, and Chelsea all could have been different. So ultimately, that's what the issue here is. Sorry, I'm just catching my breath because it has been absolutely non-stop. But yes, that's what the issue is there. So now we got to move into redoing the draw, which is, as fun as it may be, not what we want to see. So some favorable draws were for Liverpool, who received Red Bull Salzburg, Manchester City, who received Villarreal. One of the most anticipated draws was PSG, who were facing Manchester United. And Chelsea, finishing second, were happy they received the Lille. Obviously, Atletico wasn't happy with Bayern. Red Bull, the teams that they were facing were not happy with their opponents. So ultimately, in all fairness, not a lot of people here are Inter fans, but in all fairness, it was tainted. Gotcha. Somehow they screwed up a middle school level project. there's corruption being thrown. The word corruption's being thrown around, and everything else in between. So yes, they definitely did screw us up. So I'm just going to go to a couple of comments before we get into it. Rigged draws. Gerald, you were the first person to call it when we started streaming on the Inter page. Yes, Ajax last time they faced a Bundesliga team in the group stage and an Italian team in the round of 16. So yes, that is definitely something. Inter getting Bayern, Bayern, Liverpool, Man City. We're ready. As everyone says, you got to beat the teams that are in front of you, and these are the teams that are in front of them. So anything is possible on that front there. Ajax very dangerous though. Yes, Ajax were a very dangerous team, but on a competitive level, they were both on the same page, I would assume. Take it easy. Give us Liverpool then. King Darian not happy with that. Take it easy. Look, as any fan of any football team, whether you're a fan of Inter, Juventus, Manchester United, Manchester City, when it comes to the Champions League, there are no easy opponents. And we've learnt that, Barcelona got knocked out by easy opponents, and Borussia Dortmund got knocked out by easier opponents. Lille, yes, that would be the dream draw for Inter, just based on everything. Maybe we actually make it out for once and get Man U would be far better than drawing Ajax. Look, competitive-wise, ticketing-wise, revenue-wise, yes, those are definitely the draws to go with. Ultimately, as an Inter fan, I am more than happy to draw anyone. If it means we get knocked out of the Champions League with our heads held high and we've given it our all. If Inter perform the way they did against Real Madrid on both occasions, well, then disappointment should arise because we did not take our chances when it came to that. On the other front, teams which are currently leading their titles, so PSG, Inter, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich, and Manchester City. PSG and Inter are in pot 2, and the rest are in pot 1. I'd rather lose to a big team than Ajax. Yes, so no one criticised Lazio when they got knocked out by Bayern Munich last year, and the same, time to humble those merdas. Yes, look, it would be a beautiful sight to see Inter humble, Bayern or Manchester City, Liverpool as well to that extent. But unfortunately, I feel those teams are quite strong. If anyone is to beat them and Inter is that team, well, guess what? Everyone's going to know who Inter Milan are. That is definitely for sure. On the scope of some other options, I'm sure Real Madrid were happy with their draw, and so forth. So it's quite the issue that we've got here. The questions are going to be raised, and there's going to be constant scrutiny when it comes to these draws in the future. Everyone's already calling for Serafin's head, to be honest. So it's quite interesting in the perspective when you put it that that's the case, guys. I just want to make sure my audio is fine. So can you just leave a comment and let me know? Can you see me clearly? Because I currently have a headphone in, so I can listen to the draw because we can't stray. So we can't restream the audio. So I've got two things happening at once. So I just want to make sure you guys can hear me properly. And I am quite tired, to be honest. So we're doing this. But Uncle Sharma would love to have you, but I know these are terrible times for you as a worker up in England. So yes, it would be ridiculous if Inzaghi drew Bayern again. But you got to remember the team that Inzaghi had with Lazio were very. Thank you. Thank you for the comments. Great to know the audio is fantastic. But yeah, Inzaghi, the team he had with Bayern, against Bayern last time with Lazio, is nothing compared to the team he's got now. Plus, you got to remember COVID played a big factor when it came to those fixtures, with him losing a lot of players. Future Hendricks, how are we so unlucky at everything. Well, it's just if you're an Inter fan, would you have it any other way? Honestly, would you have it any other way? Was there anything possible that could have went the way? Um, and yes, Gerald, you're 100%. Lazio put up a fantastic fight when they faced Inter last time. Sorry, when they faced Bayern last time. I'm just experimenting a bit with what we've got here at hand. The draw should be starting any moment. There's a couple of delays. I'm sure they're just explaining to the world. Um, but yeah, no, Chris, 100%. You get Bayern straight 2 years in a row. Um, who? No, we could get Sporting Lisbon. Who? No, we would get Sporting Lisbon. Juventus got Sporting Lisbon. We can. Inter Milan can't actually get Sporting Lisbon because they are also in pot two. So the way they do it is they draw pot two first, and then what happens is they then select the appropriate teams that can sort through in order to gain that next stage. So I see everyone's on the same page here. Come on, guys. Pazza Inter. Surely you know that by now. Has anyone seen how everything's gone as of late for this? So look, if you've made it this far in the Champions League, in my opinion, you've done well. Inter fans, it's been a long time coming. That is definitely for sure. It wouldn't be Inter versus Bayern, Liverpool, Man City. It would be Serie A versus Bayern, Liverpool, Man City, except for Milan and Juve, of course. Look, I think it's going to be interesting. United's in the window for this. So in pot one, Inter cannot draw Real Madrid or Juventus. The other teams they can draw are City, Bayern, Liverpool, Ajax, United, and Lille. So there is plenty. And you know what? 4 of them are English teams. So you're going to be in trouble. Um, let's get Milan and show them how to beat them. Yes, 100%. As an Interista, second best option was Lille. Yes, definitely. Liverpool would be a fantastic fixture, Gerald. That's for sure. I hope we can get United, Lille, or Ajax. Honestly, I'd love to see Inter go up against the Cities, the Liverpools, the Bayerns, and honestly, genuinely challenge them because you know what? They can. And they've got the squad, they've got the players. And I'm not sure how many of you caught this earlier with the first draw, but you got to remember this Inter team has some great talent who have been in these positions before, like Alexis Sanchez and Arturo Vidal, and they've got the team behind them and the momentum at the moment. Yeah, Liverpool would be a fantastic. Oh, imagine shutting down Salah, future Hendrick. Should we be optimistic? Being competitive against Liverpool. Look, Liverpool do what they need to do to get the job done. Sometimes that means the other team scores, but at the end of the day, they do what they need to do in order to get the job done. I'm just waiting for this stream to start because everyone's sort of thrown everything everywhere at the moment because anything has been possible. So it will be quite the quite the headline if they muck this off again. But yeah, so other big fixtures which were announced in the Europa League were Napoli taking on Barcelona, Lazio. They got Porto, and Atalanta got Olympiacos. So that there is also another fixture there. It's it's interesting, and I love how they're starting it again with the Champions League theme music. It, I just find that hilarious. This whole scenario, everyone's hands in the air and all of that. So it will be quite interesting to see how everything goes. Lazio played much better, then scored. Look, they got robbed on some early schemes by a ref that totally killed Lazio's momentum. Yeah, look, when the ref's not on your side, the ref's not on your side. Okay, they're apologizing. King Samir, where are you? Jump in this stream, brother. It'll be good to have you here, Costas. No, the draw starts off pairing Madrid and Benfica. You gotta love that, Costas. Love it. So they're basically saying that the problem could have existed from the start, which is complete rubbish. So they're just apologizing for everything. And then there's Wijnaldum. Look, Wijnaldum's a Champions League winner and a fantastic player. He's not happy with everything at PSG, but it will be interesting how they go in the summer transfer window, and this draw will determine a lot, especially considering if we do draw Bayern, for instance, and Sama, do you want Bayern and Liverpool? What if you want to beat them? You got to throw your hands in the air and say, well, what if? There's a lot of what ifs. You got to remember, guys, the first fixtures played on. So I'm talking in Australian terms. So you probably minus a day. So the 16th and 17th of February in Australia. So it'll be 15th and 16th generally everywhere else in the world because we're ahead and we wake up at stupid times. Here we go. So let's start this up, guys. I'm going to move away from the comments for a bit as they restart the draw. They've just drawn the first team. And it is Salzburg. So Red Bull Salzburg originally got Liverpool in the draw. And they've now drawn first. So they can get every pot one team other than Lille, who are in the same group. As there are no other Austrian teams within the Champions League. So now they're carefully picking the correct balls. He doesn't know which one he got. There we go. So they've drawn RB Salzburg. We will see who they get. Agent Dumfries and the Fry, time to do your thing. Woke up to see Ajax until they blundered it. Yeah, mate, I haven't gone to bed. It has been non-stop. So Salzburg has now drawn the Austrian RB Salzburg. Red Bull Salzburg has now drawn Bayern Munich. So instead of Atletico Bayern Munich, it is Salzburg taking on Bayern Munich. As we move on to the next team from pot 2 to get drawn, Sporting has been drawn. So Sporting has now been drawn. They initially were facing Juventus. So Sporting can get everyone from pot 1 other than Ajax, who are in the same group as them. They're taking their time because they don't want to muck this up again, that's for sure. Yes, rest in peace, Salzburg. So that's one team people wanted to avoid. Bayern Munich, they've gone to Salzburg. So 8-0, 9-0 first leg, 2-0 second leg. That's how I see that one going. So Sporting have drawn Manchester City. Sporting have drawn Manchester City. So Bayern Munich and Manchester City have now been drawn. This is very, very similar to the first one. Benfica has just been drawn. So Benfica can draw everyone that's left as they were in the same group as Bayern Munich. So any pot 1 team, they are eligible to draw. Rest in peace, Sporting, taking one for the team. Yes, I think we're all on the same page. 2 down, boys. Yes. I think they're the 2 biggest threats to Inter. Yes, but like the 2 teams, any team in pot 2 would want to avoid. So it's quite interesting, that retrospect there, as he struggles to open the ball to see who will go up against Benfica. Benfica takes on Ajax. So Ajax, as many of you in the stream would know, were facing Inter. They have now drawn up against Benfica. So the next team to be drawn is Chelsea. So Chelsea's just been drawn fresh. So Chelsea can only get two teams, Lille or Real Madrid. So if they get Lille again, it makes it quite tough. Is this Benfica? You had one job. Is this being drawn on TV? So I'm based in Australia. I'm watching it through a streaming service that we have here that covers the Champions League, and that is Stan Sport. I'm not sure it's been drawn overseas, guys. So I'm not 100% sure. And Chelsea, did they get Lille? He is taking his sweet time. Come on. They got Lille again. So Chelsea get Lille again. Nothing changes there. Okay, so Inter can get Manchester United or Liverpool. Those are the only two options for Inter at the moment. Manchester United or Liverpool. Juventus can get Atletico. So Atletico Madrid's just been drawn. So in contention for Atletico is Manchester United or Juventus. So this is where it becomes quite sticky, because teams, Spain and England, have a lot of teams, and it very limits their opponents. So Atletico has been drawn, and they can't get Liverpool. So Juventus, Inter gets PSG might get United, Juventus, or Liverpool. Atletico now gets Manchester United. So it is Atletico taking on Manchester United. So that was an interesting matchup there. That is a fantastic game to watch as well. That's quite the... No, we cannot get Atletico. Villarreal's been drawn. So Villarreal can get Juventus. So Juventus is the only team that Villarreal can get. So that means PSG get Real Madrid and Inter get Liverpool. Inter get Liverpool. So there you have it, guys. That is your Champions League draw. Let's pull up the new draw. Sorry, let me get this comment off. So there you have it, guys. Inter get Liverpool, PSG, Real Madrid, Villarreal, Juventus, Atletico, Manchester United, Chelsea, Lille, Benfica, Ajax, Sporting Manchester City, Red Bull Salzburg, and Bayern Munich. From Chris, from Ajax to Liverpool, thanks, appreciate it, 100%. We're all on the same page with that one there. It's salty, to say the least. It's salty, but it will be quite interesting to also, I feel it will be a fantastic fixture. It will be so I demand a redraw. It's so much pays up front for Liverpool, yes, but the defense for Inter is fantastic. It's going to be tough for Inter. Yeah, it's going to be tough, but if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. And you know what, Chris, I think you hit the nail on the head there. We can dominate their midfield. And look, you got to remember, guys, there is so much time between now and December. February. Sorry, we're in December. There's so much time now between now and February. Sorry, I'm just getting a million messages about this draw. Everyone's excited, but yeah, look, there's so much time between now and February that can happen between injuries and um and yes, we start at the San Siro. That is correct. Yes, so much time between now and February. So much can change. There is a lot happening. Um, it's one of those things where it's interesting. 2008 all over again. I demand the redraw. Yes, I definitely demand a redraw. Away goals do not come into effect. Yes, we need Wijnaldum. Yes, no more away goals. I'd like to see Sensi, but I don't trust the guy. Look, we got to eventually put faith into it. Um, Anything is possible, guys. There are 30 of you still here. Big ups to you. It has been an amazing ride, especially when it comes to how this has panned out. Guys, please, before you leave, can you please hit a like and subscribe on the Football Worldwide channel and Interworldwide channels? It will be much appreciated. As you know, we are dedicated to what we do. We have come into this and we have done it. But guys, yes, Chopping Mall, they stopped, no more away goals. So there are a couple of reasons as to why they stopped it. The first being, if you use a level on for and against, um, going into a fixture, at the end of the fixture, and then it goes to extra time, and the away team scores one goal, well, you got to score two, and they just worked out it's not fair. 1, 2, they'll get a lot more games. Going into extra time, penalty shootouts becomes more entertaining, and you've got to remember this is a business. Guys, anyone in the chat want to answer? Will Barella miss both legs? A scam? Yeah, look, it's ridiculous the way this is panned out. You know, Atletico will be counting their stars, that their draw had changed. Villarreal, again, they might be happy that they're facing. Um, uh, they might be facing Juventus rather than Manchester City. Yes, Manchester City. The only fixture that didn't change was Chelsea versus Lille. That's because Bayern and Ajax were were already drawn. So when it came to it, it was either Real Madrid or Lille. And if they did draw Real Madrid, Inter could have only drawn Lille. So it was quite inty. Yeah, so it's quite the draw, guys, and a lot can happen between now and the conclusion of the transfer window, for instance. So, I actually like this opinion. I like this opinion. Both Man U and Atletico lost at first. Now one of them was still loose. Yes, unless there's an issue with this draw, and then we do a redraw. I'm sorry, guys, if it's happening. I'm not gonna be here to do it because it is getting late. But guys, look, I really like a draw at the San Siro and then getting defeated at Anfield. Look, a result is a good result. Onana better be our first goalkeeper by then. Is possible. Mm, definitely, definitely is possible. But it's interesting fixture. Um, Interesting fixture to say the least. Um, you know, they redrew it. Ajax. But yeah, guys, look, Big ups. Yes. Gags, where were you, mate? I wanted you in this video with me. UEFA is corrupt. This is BS. Yeah, look, it will be interesting to say how this ends up going. Dealing on Liverpool because my brother and best friend support Liverpool. Look, mate, nothing wrong with a bit of friendly rivalry. What do you think now about Nandez? Owner said he needs to stay through the season. Well, we'll get Wijnaldum. I will. You're killing me here, but I will send Mario Galliano a link to jump in for a quick 5-minute chat with us all. If I can find him. When was the last time I messaged you, Mario? Mario. Here we go. There you go, mate. Jump in the chat, guys, and that goes for everyone. If you want to jump in the chat, let us know. Where's Anthony, mate? It is currently 1:20 in the morning. We did the initial stream. It was at 10:30. So what happened was did the initial stream. And then there was an issue with the draw, and it has been crazy ever since. To be honest, it has been non-stop, backwards and forwards. Just it's been overwhelming because there was a million things that could have happened, and it has happened. Those Inter fans were happy with Ajax. Now they're not happy. Atletico weren't happy. They got Bayern Munich, and now they got Manchester United. So could be someone read Anthony. I'm glad he got to bed and he got to sleep because I'm not sure if you saw the first stream, Gerald, when Bayern, City, and Liverpool all got plucked in the first 3 calls. He was over the moon. And he's like, oh, this is beautiful. We can have United. We can have Ajax or Lille. It will be fantastic. And it was, yeah. But XMB, you really had to open your mouth. But yeah, it's what happened. Mario, you're there, but I can't see you. You need to get on the camera, mate. Where I Nandez with a decent backup for Barella. Look, we got Sensi, we got Vidal. Here we go, Mario, mate. What's happened?
Oh man, what a shitty draw. What is this bullshit?
Did you say the first draw? Or was it nice and early for you?
I was sleeping, no shot.
Oh, mate. So let me pull up the first draw because that was a bit more. Where is it? New template. It's impossible. So I'll share the first draw and just have a quick look at who got what.
I just saw what we got, and it was awesome.
This is the first draw. So Atletico, Bayern, Salzburg, PSG, Manchester United, Sporting, Juventus, Inter, Ajax. It was quite competitive. Chelsea, Lille is the only fixture that didn't change from the first draw. So I'm not sure if you know what happened. When they did the Villarreal draw, they accidentally put the Manchester United ball in there and they drew Manchester United and they're in the same group. So they couldn't have done that. But then that wasn't the issue. When they did Atletico, they didn't put Manchester United back in, and Atletico drew Bayern, and then they're like, no, this isn't fair. It wasn't drawn properly, so an official redraw had to happen. So UEFA rigged it to get Messi versus Ronaldo. Didn't work in their favor. But now this is the new draw, as you can see there. Salzburg went from Liverpool to Bayern Munich. Sporting went from Juventus to Manchester City. Benfica went from Real to Ajax. Chelsea and Lille remain the same. Atletico went from Bayern to United. Villarreal went from City to Juventus. PSG went from United to Real. And Inter went from Ajax to Liverpool.
I mean, they're all good matchups except for us, for Inter.
Look, I think out of the big teams, they're probably the most beatable.
You
If you
think
put me in
so?
front of Bayern or City, I think Liverpool's probably. We saw what AC Milan did,
Yeah.
but again,
They didn't
Bayern
have
Munich.
the Van Dijk and a couple other guys, right? Though.
Yeah. So look, you look at Liverpool. There was three teams with perfect 18 out of 18s: Liverpool, Bayern, and Ajax, and Inter drew both of the two out of the three. But yeah,
You can make this stuff up. You
you
really can
can't
make this
make this
stuff up.
stuff up. But overall, look, guys, do you think it is a bad draw? Honestly, out of the teams, if you asked me before, I would have wanted for Inter, City, United, Liverpool, or Lille.
Ajax. No.
Nah, didn't want Ajax. They're deadly when it comes to knockout stages.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be very interesting. Mario, what are your thoughts, mate?
I think I might actually watch a few of these games.
Yeah,
Like usually
definitely.
I just have no interest in anything that's not like Inter or like an Italian team, but I might actually try to catch a few of these games. Like what do we got? Ajax Benfica, that's good. Atletico United, I'll probably watch, and PSG Real Madrid is probably the most even matchup because I don't think PSG is that good as much as they've spent in the team that they have. It doesn't reflect how they actually perform. So I think, and Real Madrid's also on a downer year, I'd say. So
Down a year, ahead by 14,
yeah,
if that's
but
a.
no, like they're not the Real Madrid that we know that
No,
we. That's what I mean.
no,
I mean, in the league they're
definitely.
doing great, but when I look at Real Madrid, like when we played them with the Inter, they were beatable. We shot ourselves in the foot, you
We,
know.
we didn't take our chances.
Yeah, you know.
I prefer this either win or lose to a big team than suffer a 50-50 against Ajax.
Yeah,
100%. And I said this previously on a previous stream. If Inter drew Bayern Munich or Manchester City,
we have no chance.
they could exit the Champions League with their heads held high because they were beaten by the best in Europe.
Hmm.
Now, if they lost against Ajax, criticism will be coming from everywhere,
Left and right.
left and right. But look, Alex, there was a redraw because there was an issue with the selections and they failed to put certain teams in against other teams. It was realized because everything's televised and UEFA blamed the company, but
Software.
as the software, but as Chris mentioned that it's a middle school project that they absolutely stuffed up. I don't know why software was required
That
to
I
put
was
one
thinking the
on.
same thing. Like, what? Why do you need a computer to tell you what the rules are when, they're already in front of you? You guys make the rules. It's put
Yeah,
this
look,
ball in here. Simple.
Ajax could go all the way, definitely. Mario, maybe you know this, maybe the chat know this, guys. Is there another draw after this, or do they
Yes.
just create the brackets?
There's another draw, I believe.
So there's one more draw after this, and then you've got your brackets. So
Yeah.
8 turns into 4. Yeah. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
If Honda starts, then we're out. I don't think so. He's done well for Inter. Remember the treble year? We got some of the hardest teams at first, but definitely need Onana if we're going to beat Liverpool. And the story, Onana's just come back from a ban, and you
Drug
can't
ban.
chuck him in against Liverpool. Ajax used him, but they had qualified. They gave the guy some time on the field. They had qualified. There was nothing they could do. So, Honda is our captain and Inter's captain, and you guys need to remember, as a captain, he's led Inter to a Scudetto. He's led Inter to where they are, and criticize him all you want, but he's pulled off some great saves over the last couple of weeks. But look, This is the draw. The first fixtures on the 16th and 17th. I don't know if you caught it, but do you want to hear our previous two fixtures before our first Liverpool game?
Yeah.
So Inter host AC Milan,
Okay.
and then they travel to Napoli, and then they host Liverpool.
Love it. Gotta love it. Like, this is the life of an Inter fan. Everything that can go wrong will go wrong. They will make it as hard as possible to make sure that you suffer.
Inter's February consists of the AC Milan, Napoli, and Liverpool. So it's interesting. And then before that, they've got Atalanta Venezia. So they play 3 out of the top 4 teams, and they're one of
And
them.
then we
So
play Sassuolo after.
Sassuolo, and then I think Salernitana.
Genoa. Then
Genoa,
Salernitana.
and then Salernitana, and then we play Liverpool again.
Mm-hmm.
Onana blocks that with ease.
No, I mean, I really don't think this Handanovic slander is warranted. I mean, a lot of the shots that he's beaten by are they're hard shots, like the ones against Real Madrid, the cruise shot. Like, come on, that's a perfectly placed in the bottom corner. You know, sure, yeah, optimal positioning. You can say whatever you want, but you know, come on,
Look,
he's
at the
taking off
end
from
of
the
the
near post.
day, there's deflections,
Mm-hmm.
and
He
people
can't see
judge
all
him
the
on that.
time.
And you look at the goal, I think it was Sheriff scored that long
Mm-hmm.
range free kick. That was
Nah.
from so far out, he couldn't say anything. And when he did, he had to position himself. But that's probably the only goal he's conceded that I can really criticize, because it was from that far. It was a free kick. You should not be getting them in
Yeah,
directly unless you're playing FIFA. But
that's fair.
the other goals, they're just bullets, or they're well placed. And you got to remember, if your goalkeeper's having to save that many shots, the defense has to be asked questions as
Mm-hmm.
well. So
There's no reason for him to be making 5, 6 saves a game.
yeah, and especially I think Bastoni needs to be more disciplined on that front,
Mm-hmm.
because he pushes too far up the field and he leaves Skriniar and the Fry exposed. And Skriniar likes to wander upfield a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, Inter, they're missing Barella as well for the first game because of the red card. Is it 2 games or 1?
I think just one.
Because it was straight red.
I want to say just one.
Okay, hopefully 1. But you got to remember, guys, we're in December. This is February. There's a transfer window as well. There's rumors of Nunez. There's rumors of Wijnaldum. There's Onana. There is so much happening. So much can change. Then you've got the African Cup of Nations as well. So that comes into effect. What if Salah, Mane, they get injured and they can't play? You know,
Yeah.
that just takes the teeth out of the tiger. So anything's possible. But let's do a quick run through. Mario, I'm just going to throw to you for some predictions. Red Bull, Bayern, who goes through?
Bayern.
Yeah, you can't really argue with the next one either. Sporting or City?
City.
Benfica, Ajax?
I want to say Ajax by like a hair.
Yeah,
I think
look,
that's going to be close.
You go close. No away goals counting now. Really
Mm-hmm.
can change the aspect of this. Chelsea, Lille?
Chelsea.
One of the most challenging ones here. Atletico, Man United?
I want to say Atletico, but something tells me United's going to squeak by because of Ronaldo saving them in the 90th minute.
Yeah, I have a feeling about that one too. Villarreal, Juventus?
Villarreal.
So I was saying this with Anthony earlier. The Champions League is probably the only way Juventus will qualify for next year's competition. If they realize that and they focus on that, I feel they can push quite deep. And who knows what will happen in the transfer window. I'm going to go against you here and say Juventus. PSG, Real?
PSG.
Yeah, look, I think this one can go either way. I'm
Yeah.
leaning more towards PSG just for the caliber of team they've got.
Mhm.
Inter, Liverpool.
My heart says Inter, and I hate Liverpool,
Right your head.
but when reality comes and sets in,
Look, I'm going to be optimistic and say Liverpool qualify after 3-3 over 2 legs on penalties. That's how I see this story going. And
yeah,
Honda saves 3, but our team cannot score. Lautaro
yeah,
misses the first one, and then it's downhill from there.
you're right. Like I'm just looking at the Villarreal one again because I was like, how are they doing in the league? 13th.
They're the same boat as Juventus.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough one because Juve stink and Villarreal stink. This might as well be a Conference League match, honestly.
So just to recap, Atalanta got up Olympiacos in the Europa League, Lazio got Porto, and Napoli got Barcelona.
Napoli Barca, I think Napoli goes through.
I think all 3 Italian teams have a great chance of qualifying to the next stage. I think
Hmm.
Atalanta probably got the easiest of the draws, but based on skill and how they are this season, all 3
You
seem to
you
be
can't
great.
you can't discount Olympiacos at home though, because that's where they
No,
always steal points. They owe
no.
every time they're in Champions League or
You cannot
whatever.
go to
You
Olympiacos as a fan of the
no
traveling team. I'm sorry.
no. You can't. That's where they'll kill you. They might pull up a 2-0 win and completely shock you or play defensive masterclass at away and at home pull it a 1-0. So it's not an easy thing to come by. So when you say they're the easiest opponent, I take it with a grain of salt because of how hard it is to actually go to Greece and win these games. The same goes for Panathinaikos back in the day, but they haven't been relevant in 10 years almost now.
If not more. XMB, EPL fans really think we're an easy opponent. I have already seen a couple of screenshots on Liverpool fan pages. Oh my God, this is 10 times better. Um, you know,
They're a bunch of
it's
losers.
actually hilarious, especially considering they got RB Salzburg the first time round. Um, it just shows their optimism this season. Look, I think the one thing playing in Inter's favor is the the Cup of Nations doesn't really impact Inter as what it does
Hmm.
Liverpool. But not just that, also England play straight through Christmas. They don't take a break. They just continue and they soldier through. And
Hmm.
they've got FA Cup and Community Shield and all of that stuff. As well as that, they also have a very tight race in the Premier League. And you drop points, you sort of eliminate yourself from contentions. So it's going to be quite interesting. It's gonna be easy, but you are gonna lose. Hamza, look, I know you're a Liverpool fan.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
assuming you say it's not gonna be easy, but you're gonna lose. And I really gotta. I sort of agree with him. It won't be easy, but I do think um we'll be on top of it. Your win backs have to be on top of their game against us. Yes, Dumfries really needs to step up, but Damian is also there,
Humphreys,
and
he's not
Perisic
gonna
has
play.
been on absolute fire lately. And this comment here, if you notice every year on February 14, we either get Milan Derby or the Derby of Italy every year after year. It's just we set up to fail to go to the round of 16. Look it up. This is hilarious. Well, we face Milan, Napoli, and then Liverpool all in the space of 3 weeks. So, guys, if you're talking interest there, but from a neutral perspective, I think this second draw makes it a whole lot more competitive. You're seeing a lot more better fixtures. PSG, Real Madrid, United, Atletico, Inter, Liverpool be a fantastic game. But yeah, a blunder on UEFA's end has come at the expense of some teams and has come at the joy of others. But Mario, I gotta say,
I like what Chris said in the chat, where Inter is much weaker this season when we've actually been a much better team than compared to last season, regardless of losing Lukaku and Hakimi. It's comical because Inzaghi's done such a great job with his team, and he's able to get the most out of the the great players that he has in Brozovic and Barella, who's becoming more of an assist, a leader than he was before.
Hakan Çalhanoğlu.
Hakan has found himself since he was in Hamburg for the first time. Dzeko looks like he's 27 years old. Lautaro's scoring goals even though he sucks.
Yeah, look, it will be a very interesting game. We'll be talking a whole lot more about it coming in the upcoming weeks because we do have a lot of time between now and then. I'm sure I'll be seeing you on the other side, Mario, but thank you for jumping in. It was good to see your face.
Thank
All
you.
alone here at 20 to 2 in the morning here in Sydney, so it was good to see you.
All right. Have a good night. It's good to see you too. Thanks for the invite.
Thank you. See you, mate.
Like this.
Huh?
Let me know. I would have jumped on earlier.
Well, we didn't know they were going to do a redraw.
I know. I saw Anthony texted in one of our group chats, and he's like, "Oh, it's pushed back to 9." I was like, "What?" Rolled out of bed. Yeah.
All right. I'll talk to you later. Thanks again, Mario. Ciao. Yes, will the African Cup of Nations be during this? No, the African Cup of Nations will be in January. But what will happen is the Premier League doesn't stop between Christmas and New Year's, so they just keep playing and they continue to play. Whereas you look at Germany and so forth, they do take a break. Then those players will be on a plane to Africa. They will play in the African Cup of Nations. Then they'll come back. You'd say Liverpool will be quite injury prone. So that will be interesting. King Dorian, you need someone to expose that fraud called Trent. Call him a fraud all you want. He has been absolutely phenomenal for Liverpool come this season. Liverpool loses major players. They do lose major players for the Cup of Nations, but they should be back. But like I said, fatigue, injury prone, it will be interesting. That's it. At least we're not going to be daydreaming of getting to the quarterfinal. Just play the 2 games while focusing, defending the league title starting now. Miss Froggy, great to see you here in the chat. Yeah, look, Inter did take that approach last season and came last. And they entered after the group stage. They were in 4th position, I think, in the Serie A. Come the end of this group stage, they finished 2nd, qualified for the next round, got the 20 million euro prize money, as well as that they are in 1st place heading into the back end of the first half of the season. Guys, a big thank you to the 20 people who are currently still here. Don't forget to like and subscribe to us here on Football Worldwide, Interworldwide, wherever you're joining us in the world. It will be quite interesting to see the reaction across the world on how this draw and how the failure to achieve a proper draw first time round is going to come under scrutiny quite highly. So, guys, without further ado, thank you for joining me. It is always a pleasure, and I will see you on the other side. Bye.